Good morning everyone. So today our topic is data visualization in Python. Okay. So first of all you should answer a question. You should know why data visualization is required. Okay. Now when I say data visualization, what is the meaning? We have a visual representation. A huge amount of data will be presented in the form of a graph or a plot to our eyes. So why it is required? Okay. Why we need to visualize the data. Okay, what exactly is visualization and why it is required? So when I say visualization, as I told you, we're just visualizing a huge amount of data in the form of a graph. Now why at all it is required? See, I give you a huge amount of data for analysis, or I present a graph to you, which is more easier for you to understand. Obviously a graphical representation is much more convenient for everyone to understand. Okay, that rather than going through a huge set of data, we will just have a look at a graph which is given to us. That is much easier way of arriving at a conclusion. So we require data visualization for that. Okay, now in your Python we have a library Matplotlib that is used for data visualization. So when I say Matplotlib, it is multi-platform. What is the meaning of multi-platform? It can run on Linux, it can run on Windows, any platform it can run. It is platform independent visualization library. Okay, this library is built on top of NumPy array. Okay, so we have any array we use here will be given as a NumPy array. Okay, now this is created by John Hunter and it is used for plotting several types of plots like line, bar, scatter plot, histogram, etc. So all these are just basically tools for visualization. Okay, different representations for different sets of data. So first we'll see how we have to start with Matplotlib. Okay, now when you have to start with Matplotlib, you have to install Matplotlib as usual, how you install all other libraries, by using pip install Matplotlib. Okay, next we'll go through the code and we'll understand each and every part of the code, so that it will be the concept of using Matplotlib will be clear to you. So first, after installing Matplotlib, we are using this particular library for creating graphs. Okay, so in this first one, line by line I'll be explaining. Just understand this, you will follow the entire concept. Okay, so now what happens here is, first as usual I'm using a NumPy array, so we are importing NumPy as NP. Again I'm telling, NP is nothing but alias for NumPy. Instead of using NumPy everywhere, you will use NP. Okay, now next thing is import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. See, pyplot is a module used in okay, so pyplot is a module from Matplotlib that is used for plotting figures, giving different plotting mechanisms. Okay, it provides various plotting mechanisms. So always we use pyplot module for plotting. So we will import it as PLT. So wherever we have to use pyplot, we will use alias PLT. Now what happens here is x is equal to np dot line space 0, 10, 100. This you should be knowing that we are going to create an array that starts from 0, ends at 10, and we will have 100 random values. Okay, 100 values will have wherein we start with 0 and we'll end with 10. So this is just basically we are creating a array. Okay, now we are using plt.plot to plot this array. Now obviously when we have to plot an array, okay, we are plotting a graph. So whenever we are plotting a graph, we need an x-axis and a y-axis. So x-axis is the values that we have given, and y-axis here is a sign value for the x value. Okay, so now this again we have this function from NumPy array. So we have np dot sin x. So we are plotting this graph using x and y values. So again I'm repeating, x is the values that we have given, and y axis value will be sign of that x value. So you have got, after using PLT is pyplot, alias for pyplot, dot plot function we are calling, and we are passing x-axis and y-axis, and this graph is getting plotted. You can see the graph which is getting plotted. Now if you don't want to complicate the procedure, you can simply give your own any values, x and y values, and you can run the code. It is going to plot the graph. Okay, now moving further, now see here we have fig is equal to plot dot figure. So plt dot figure. So what happens here, it is calling a function figure. So if you simply run this, what is going to happen, a plain figure will be created, a empty figure will be created. Now after that, into that figure we have to add the axis, that is we have to add x and y axis. So we will call plt dot axis. So this creates a figure. If you simply run figure, you will get a blank space, and if you add axis, what is going to happen, you are going to get the x and y, random x and y axis you are going to get, and plt dot show will show this figure in which the axes are embedded. So show function is used for showing the particular figure, okay, the particular figure with the axis. So we have, what we have done here is we have created a figure. Figure is nothing but a blank space. To that we have added two axes, that is x and y axis, okay, and the plt show is going to show whatever we have created. Okay, so next one. So in exam, what you have to do is you have to write the code and explain each line. Okay, coming to this part, what happens here is we have, as usual, we have created a figure using plt dot figure. Okay, and we have added axis to the figure, that is x and y axis. Now what we are doing, we are supplying values for that x and y axis. So what we have done, we have created array that is with 1 to 4 values. Okay, x values is nothing but an array from 1 to 4, and y value is what, why we use star, you know, we are just squaring the value. So 1 will be 2, 2 will be 4, 3 will be 9, and 4 will be 16. So we are going to square the values, and that will be the values along the y axis, and we have x axis some random this array values, that is 1 to 4. Okay, now we are plotting. So this is a simple line graph that I am explaining to you. What we have done is we have first created a figure, then we have allocated the axes for the figure, and the value for the axes, that is x and y, are nothing but x values I have given 1 to 4, and y is squared value of x. So you have you're getting y as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 16. These are squared. So whenever you can see x is 1, y also will be 1. Okay, then when x is 2, y value will be 4. You can see this is a simple line graph which is getting plotted. So what you will do, ax dot, that is axis dot plot, you are calling plot function with the x and y values that you have given. So this is going to create a simple line graph. Okay, so what in the line graph, basically you have created the figure, you have given the axes, and you have given x and y values, and then you are calling the plot function with the help of ax dot plot, and you are supplying the x and y values that has been given by you. So this creates a line graph. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so now what happens here, you can see we are going to decorate our line graph a little bit, and we are not just going to plot a single line, we are going to plot multiple lines. Okay, it is not necessary for all the visualization we can only have a single line, we can have multiple lines also. So here, as usual, we have the same thing, the same code is being repeated. So you have figure, you have axis, after that you have x array, then y you're creating as squared value of x, and one more additional thing what we have done is we have created z as a cube of x. Okay, so in a y value we have square, and z value we have cube of x values. Okay, now we are plotting it. Okay, first we are plotting x and y. Using x and y we are plotting the line, and the line given to, now we are adding some aesthetics to this particular thing. Aesthetics is nothing but which some effects, visualization effects we are adding. Okay, which will, that is just for like just for making some difference or giving a visual appearance, that's it. So what we are doing, we are giving the color of the line as blue, just color, that is an attribute, and you're mentioning the value as blue. Okay, like next one is line style. Line style means what should be the style of the line. Okay, what will how the line should appear. So I'm giving solid, it means it is a thick line. Okay, you can give dotted, you can give dashed, any style whatever you want. Okay, next one is ax dot plot. Here we are plotting y and z, and we are giving the color of the line as red and the line style is dashed. Now we are calling the show function to plot the particular graph. We have called two functions and we have plotted x and y axis, x and y as one line and y and z as another line, and now we are going to call show function. Now when we are calling show function, what is going to happen, the line is getting plotted. You can see here clearly. Now the blue line indicates x and y, and we have the red line which is indicating y and z. You can even plot using 3 variables. Okay, if you want x, y, z, you can give in the single plot. Okay, you will get the, so it is what basically it does, it shows the relationship between the two variables. Okay, so any graph, what it does is it shows relationship between x and y axis. So what is x and y axis? We are having two sets of values, so we are just plotting the relationship, how it varies. Okay, when x moves in positive direction, how y varies. Okay, so just a visual representation of the relationship between these two variables. Okay, now going further. Okay, now I have added visualization effects. Now I want a blank graph, I don't need. Okay, I need some additional information to that. So what I'll do is I'll add a title to my graph. So just you will call plt dot title and provide the title for this graph. So I have provided it as my graph. Then you want to label both your x and y axis. What you will do, you will again call plt dot x label, give whatever name you want to give here. If it is experience versus salary, your x axis you can give as experience and y axis you can give as salary. So just a name for your x and y axis, that's it. So you will have plt dot x label and plt dot y label. You will provide the labels for your x and y axis. Now next one, we are just giving a range for x axis values and y axis value. So I am giving the range using lim, limit. So it is a limit for x axis values and it is a limit for y axis values. So what we will do, we'll start from 5 and we'll go up to 25. So you can see here we start from 5 and it goes up to 25, and y axis value is starting from -1 and it goes up to -10. So this is just giving a limit to x and y axis, and then we are just plotting the graph and showing it, that is using plt.show. So what all functions we have learned here is, we are adding a title by using title function, we are giving a name to x and y by using x label and y label, and we are giving a limit for x and y axis labels, x and y axis, that is within start from 5 until 25, and y axis is -1 to -10. So you can clearly see what happens in this particular graph. Okay, now next one is what we are going to plot, a scatter plot. Okay, so what exactly is scatter plot? Scatter plot uses graphical notation to show relationship between two varying objects. Okay, relationship between x and y axis, as I told you, it just shows the relationship between two variables, say x and y. Okay, so how it varies, the relationship will be depicted in the form of a graph. Okay, now what we have done is, you have same way, you have created x as an array and y as a sign function of that x values. Okay, so what happens after that, we have to create a scatter plot. So for that we use the function, two functions are available for that. We can either use scatter or we can use plot. So here first one, we have used scatter. We are passing x and y values and we want a marker. Okay, now we have to show, see, if it is a line graph, a simple line comes out. Now if a scatter plot is there, we have lot of data points or observations to be marked on the graph. For that we need a particular marker. So this marker I'll just provide in this function. We have first the x-axis, we have the y-axis, second the marker that will provide the data points in the graph. So I have used here as plus marker. So what you will do, so this creates the scatter plot, and you can see here clearly you have the plus, which denotes in the entire graph. You can see lot of plus marks that shows the different observations or different data points in the scatter plot. Okay, so this is how you plot a scatter plot, by making use of the function scatter. Scatter is used for plotting a scatter plot. Now coming to a second method of plotting the same graph scatter plot, you will use plot. Okay, plt.plot. Now here you have xy and you have the marker. I have given the marker as O. You can give any sort of marker, and the color of the marker I've just, again I'm adding some aesthetics. Okay, that's it. I'm adding a look and feel to my graph, that's all. So what I'll do, I'll give the color value as orange. So what is going to happen, all the data points will be marked as O, and we will have all this color change to orange. You can give any colors which you want as per your requirement. Okay, now last topic for this video is adding error to your graph. Okay, now what happens is, that is visualizing errors. Okay, now we have x as a numpy array, that is 1 2 3 4, y as again an array 2 4 6 8. So your x and y gets plotted here. Now what you are doing, you have to add some errors to the graph. I want to visualize some errors in the graph. So what I am doing, I am giving in this function, error bar function, I am calling an error bar function that will add error to the graph. Okay, I have to visualize the errors. I have just adding some errors to this particular graph. So what we will first pass is, we'll pass x and y values, and we will pass x error is equal to 2 and y error is equal to 1, and then we are just calling plt.show, that is going to show me the particular graph which is plotted with the error. Now how to visualize the error? Now see here, we are giving x is equal to 2. Okay, means you can see here, when x value is 1, the y value is 2. So that is getting plotted. See, x value is 1, y value is 2. Okay, now the error is given as 2. So it means it moves 2 steps towards the left side and 2 steps towards the right side. So from 1 it moves, the error moves till 3, and from 1 the error moves till -1. Okay, so this is nothing but plotting x error. Now y, if I see 1, so this line, this straight vertical line, what you can see, that is the error in y axis. Okay, so what you're doing, you have a line going up little bit and a line coming down little bit in y axis, right? This is y error and this is x error. Okay, that's all for the video. Next topic we'll see in the next video. Thank you.